if anything was to ever happen to you. And I mean, we're seeing it every day. I'm not going to put a timestamp on this, but we just recently, lost someone major in the US, and it was very sudden. And so you just never know what's going to happen. You don't want to keep building and you don't have certain things in place. It's nothing worse than, to have things go awry. So what do you think, Ashanti?
Yes, I am super excited. The legacy panel is highly important. You've got the access to capital, which is very important because without the capital, how can you build the legacy? And then educating your heirs and your predecessors, the people who will be taking over your business and continuing it on possibly in your absence one day. Or if you choose to retire or move on in a different direction, maybe you want to leave that to somebody. These individuals that are going to be at this conference giving you all this giving all of us all this information is it's invaluable. You can't put a price on this, and the price that has been placed on this opportunity for women in business and men in business in the Southern Crescent and beyond is very minimal by comparison to what you will walk away with. It's super
Absolutely.
exciting.
And I want to say, you mentioned the access to capital panel. So one of the things we always get a request for is, how do I get access to funds? Where are the funds? Where are the grants? Where are the loans? How do I get more money? And let me just tell you this. People build their businesses differently. Some people bootstrap it. Some people have had an opportunity to save and they're pulling out maybe a 401. Some people are, crowdfunding. I mean, it's so many different ways. But I'll say this, when what we see traditionally, especially with minority women, is they're typically bootstrapping it. And the reality of it is, if you want to honestly scale your business to a certain level, you have to shift and you have to use OPP, other people's OPM, other people's money. And so, there is, you can scale without using other people's money, but it's going to take longer and it's not going to be as quickly done, and it's just honestly not recommended. um you have the opportunity to really, and I mean, in so many different ways, because even with the young lady who does insurance, she has talked about how people have put things in a policy and borrowed from that policy to start their business. But that's not traditional within the minority community, because they don't know about those tools and how best to use them. So when I tell you, the individuals here are really um, wanting you to win, I just can't stress that enough. We don't have to do any of this. And I think that's the part that we really got to remember. All of this is honestly to help the small business owner, help the individual who honestly needs it the most to get the information. And we're trying to bring, and not trying, but we are bringing all the information in one setting. Our marketing and branding and PR panel, these individuals, are dynamic at what they do, whether it's how to best leverage yourself when you're in front of the media, how, or even including a media strategy, because some people don't even think about that.
Right.
They think everything, all they got to do is post on Facebook, but honey, that ain't it. So you just really have to make sure, and because we got digital strategies, we got marketing strategies, we got PR strategies. We really have to make sure that we are doing our best to it's no need to start a business if you're not going to do everything you can to make sure it's successful. If it's going to be a hobby, cool. Then, that's one thing. Even I say, even if it's going to be a hobby, make sure you're setting it up where, the tax liability is lessened. And it's so interesting. There was a conference that happened in DC, actually this past weekend, and it's an interesting, I don't want to get into the politics of things, but what I will say is the conference focused on how this particular area and administration that we're currently under is not for the employed. I mean, we got to have employees, yes, absolutely, but this is honestly going to be for those who are, they're not the wage earners. They're honestly the ones that are hiring the individuals. And so, you got to know how to honestly understand how to structure your business and leverage that. And so, we're sounding the alarm to make sure people really understand. We also have the wellness, faith, wellness, and purpose panel. It was so important that we put this panel in place because without, a great business, great idea, great. But sometimes what we see is individuals don't understand who they are. They don't understand their purpose. They don't understand, and we're tying that into the wellness, because I think there's something to that. Typically, if you're more confident in who you are, it reflects in your business. It reflects in the mental health and everything, the physical health. They all tie together, especially as women. Go ahead. What you say?
You're presenting this conference feeling the person that comes in and leaves out, treating them as a whole person as they are. And as a whole person, you need to be physically, emotionally, and spiritually well. You need the information, and then you need an action plan of how to implement it. And your physical and mental and spiritual well-being is you can't separate those parts of yourself in any respect. And if you and being in line with your purpose, you have to know what your purpose is. You have to feel that you are being driven towards your ultimate purpose for being here. And everything comes in line when you have proper information and support. And this is going to provide all those things for you, at least an opening for you to see how it's possible, and putting people in front of others that can make it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on. It's really just an interesting thing. Like I said, I was sharing with with you previously that it is just amazing to find that just a lot of people don't know what their purpose is. So, we don't want to judge. We just want to provide tools for people to understand and to start doing the work to figure out what that looks like. And I'm just really, really just super excited that we're able to do that. Like I said, inclusive of the hard contracting info, the hard financial info, and even the hard insurance and tax info. You're still able to tie in the others as well. So I don't know what additional, like I said, we have and I think I mentioned this earlier, what industries will be there, who's represented. Georgia Power is a major player in the state of Georgia. Most people they complain about the bill, but you're a business owner, you never sought out what type of contracts they have. That's wild. So we wanted to make sure again that People understood that you have corporate opportunities, you have federal opportunities, and you have local government opportunities.